Recently, I went digging around the random gearbox in my basement just to see what kind of old pedals I still had lying around that might be worth showing to you. And this right here is the G2.1U, one of the oldest Multifix pedals that I own. I clearly remember buying this thing back in 2006, mainly because I wanted to start recording my own music. And beyond being a multi-effects unit with modulation effects and preamps, which, if I'm being honest, I remember I'm not sounding particularly great, the G2.1U can also be used as an audio interface for your computer. So today's mission is straightforward. I'm plugging this thing into my amp. I'm using my ref generator 740, my Faber Les Paul type with modified finished, and of course the pedal itself. And we'll see if I can still squeeze a usable sound out of this old box. So let's start by going through some basic sounds. Clean channel of my amp, and as I scroll through the presets I can already feel a bit of cold fear creeping in because the preamp effects are pretty cringe by today's standard. So instead, let's do the sensible thing. Jump into an empty preset, turn everything off, and just experiment a bit with the modulation, delay, reverb, and all the other modulation effects. And honestly, that actually sounds surprisingly okay. The delay cuts off its repeats fairly quickly and doesn't fade out super smoothly, but it's not a deal breaker for me. The reverbs only really work when you keep them subtle. Otherwise, they get a bit metallic. It's fine, not mind-blowing, but usable. The modulation effects, especially the chorus, are actually quite good. Again, as long as you dial them in subtly. Right now, I'm running the effects into the front of the amp, but let's see what happens if I put the whole unit into the effects loop. Yeah, okay, that doesn't really work. This thing clearly wasn't designed for that kind of a setup. One feature I genuinely like though, it's the built-in drum machine. It's actually great for timing practice. And the fact that the unit can run on batteries is pretty cool too. Could be a nice option for traveling or practicing on tour. Honestly, for 50 euros on eBay, you really can't go wrong with this. So it can save you from buying an overpriced modulation pedal, but for live use, I don't think it's a good idea at all. Maybe if you just use it as a multi-effects pedal, that could work, and I'm gonna try that out on one of my future gigs, but we see if that works. So before you run out and feel like you have to buy the newest and shiniest gear, take a look at what you already have lying around or pick something up cheap on eBay. You'd be surprised how much is still in there and how much sound you can get out of very little money.